What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Let's Watch NFL Playoffs AFC Championship game between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. I am Big Rye. I'm the host, Big Rye, joined here by
The
our
host.
special guest, Fat Guy.
Oh, hello.
Pulling.
What
That's
is
obviously
this?
a lie. Obviously a pull from a joke from On Cinema at the Cinema by Tim Heidecker.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
special guest Greg Turkington. Sorry, I love those. I love that
Guns
show.
and Arrows loses 2, so he's down to 4. He is at 0. No, Stephon Diggs, 1. Dylan, nothing. I didn't lose anybody. That's good.
Oh, fear
Valdez
the beard in
Scanlon.
the house. Bills Mafia tonight, baby. Bills Mafia. I'm curious to see where the money is going to lie as we approach kickoff. We've got 25,000
Show me your
bets
TDs.
so far. And it's only 13 minutes till kickoff. So kickoff is actually approaching a lot faster. What's going on, Jackson? What time is it for
Hello,
you, Jackson?
everybody.
I'm guessing you're like 17, 18 hours ahead now, if
2.
I had to guess.
Pete Carroll's gum. Untouchable. Sorry, I'm just updating the fantasy league, everybody. Here we go. He's got 2 left. Too lazy to write an if statement. That's that complicated. Mickey's down to 0. Mickey has a lot of points, though.
Fear said Packers shit play calling needed the fat guy on the sideline.
Yo, yeah, I would say so.
I still don't understand how the Packers can give up essentially a Hail Mary at the end of the first
I
half.
can't.
That's wild.
I can't get. The dude does not abide. All right.
Sonny's on the Bills. It's actually a pretty evenly split game between Bills and the Chiefs as far as people in the Discord talking about it. The Bills and Chiefs against the spread. This is one of the most even markets I can remember. Let me just double check what the line is at Pinnacle. Right now, Kansas City Chiefs -3 at -102. The money line for the Bills is +142. Money line for Chiefs -158. The OU for this game is 54.5. And the juice is actually on the over 54.5 at -114. The only place that the books are taking a little bit of exposure is on the Chiefs money line, and the exposure is really not that great. Let me just quickly do the math to be sure. So they're taking about 7 or 8% more money on the Chiefs money line than they are on the Bills money line. I don't know if there's enough value here, Fat Guy, for me to make an actual wager.
I don't know. It's so weird because I think a lot of this is tiptoed. It's a little apropos considering Mahomes' injury. A lot of this is tiptoed because of his health.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a healthy guy right now. Like, I think that's safe to say. I think he doesn't just have turf toe. I think he has a variety of ailments. And turf toe sucks. Like, I used to think it was such a wimpy injury, but then when I kind of because I obviously never had it, in the limited, very amateur sports that we have played in our lives, Big Rye.
Yeah.
But I can't see how this, because it's going to hurt your planting, right? Like, and that just has obviously catastrophic effects. I mean, he can wrist throw. He doesn't have to step into everything, but it's not good, So oddly enough, even though I'm feeling for Buffalo and it's in, it's a good story and stuff, I kind of want the Chiefs to win. I don't like this Buffalo team for some reason. I like Josh Allen, but I just think they're weak. I really do. I mean, they could very well win the Super Bowl, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm just not buying this whole entire team, right? And I just really didn't like the way they played that game against the Indianapolis Colts.
It was some of the coaching stuff is been different. Let's say that it's definitely
Yeah.
been different, and it's confused both of us. But I feel like that's kind of like when we talk about some of the things that just happened in that game. I feel like I don't know if we're just being overly critical.
Critical, yeah.
But it feels like, I know there's a lot of decisions to make inside an NFL game. It just feels weird to feel like so many of them are
Like they just feel
subpar.
unprepared. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're prepared in every facet except making the actual choice. Like they're prepared in a vis-a-vis type scenario. Like if this team does this, then we'll do this. If we get this look, we'll do this, so on and so forth. But like when it comes down to like simple stuff like timeouts and stuff like that, and like it does, I don't know. There's something left to be desired. Let's put it that way.
I'm just taking a look at the bet share on Pinnacle because it might tell us something a little bit different than what we see here. So at Pinnacle, it's saying that 63% of bettors are on the Bills money line compared to 40% of bettors, which we see on Action Network. For the handicap for this game, it says 56% of bettors are on the Bills, whereas it's 50-50
On the bill.
in the Bills Chiefs against the spread. And then for the total for this game, 54% of bettors are on the over compared to 62% on the over thanks to Action Network. So a little bit of discrepancy. It seems like there are more bettors betting on the Bills according to Pinnacle, even though it does look like there are more bettors on the there is a lot more bettors on the over with 62%. And there's a lot more bettors on the Chiefs of these other books with 60% compared to 37%. Yeah, what do you guys think I want to hear what you guys think in chat if there should be a home field advantage. Like, would you give a home field advantage to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they are going to have the chance to play at home? But I know Super Bowl is a little bit different. Like, I'm not sure how fans work. I'm not sure how many fans they're allowing at the Super Bowl. I don't know how many home team fans are allowed to be at the Super Bowl. I have no clue with any of that stuff.
Well, I mean, there's no such thing as hyperbole according to you, MVP. But good luck to you.
It's going to be that is a pretty unbelievable storyline, though, that Tom Brady has a chance to win his 7th Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. Realistically, I mean, they're going to be a dog, I would imagine, whoever they play against. But mind you, that home field thing, that's weird, eh?
Yeah,
How do you accrue for that, eh?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. We've never because the fans.
I don't think a team has ever played at home in the Super Bowl. Like maybe back in like the 40s or 50s or like at the start.
I don't
But,
think they have.
In recent history, I don't think there's ever been a
No, there hasn't.
team.
It's 30 years now.
I
mean, it's
I don't
inevitable.
think I'm going to bet this game. I think I'm just leaving this one up. I've been taking a look at that Chiefs money line, but the money is actually evening out. So really, the books killed it with this game. I'll say that. There's 32,000 bets so far. 65% of the money on the Chiefs money line, which is practically equilibrium. There's been slightly more money coming in on the Chiefs against the spread since we last looked. And the lines they're pretty damn
It's
even.
balanced,
looking
not
at Pinnacle.
equilibrium.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
balanced.
the balance. The line, we don't really know what equilibrium is.
Allen is going off tonight, but it's close. I don't trust the Bills coaches against Reed and staff, says Fear. Jimmy said Rogers didn't play so good. Sarah Booth asking who we like. I'm just not going to bet anything, Sarah Booth. I'm just going to watch this. This is going to be 5-star entertainment.
Yes.
Tampa open season. What was payout NFC ticket? Do you remember what the Bucks Super Bowl odds were at the start or when Brady came?
Yeah. I remember before Brady joined, it was 45-1.
Yeah.
And then it got bet up all the way to 8-1.
Damn. Preseason 8-1
That's
for
insane.
the Super Bowl
That's insane.
is very, very high.
They were third. They were the third favorite.
All the fans of the Chiefs game definitely threw social distancing out the window tonight. Yeah, that's
Well, I hope they
safe
do.
to say. What's the it's 3:36 right now. So I'm going to just make sure I've got the actual game up so I can watch it. I see some planes flying over, some fireworks. Mahomes is ready to go. I might as well update the leaderboard. Fat Guy, did you update the fantasy?
I did, and I posted it in the Discord.
Terrific.
I'm probably the favorite now. Guns and Arrows has a shot. Mickey has the most points, though. I have to gain 40 points. But in theory, I would at least have Brown and Brady playing, and the Bucks D. So, I mean, in theory, right? Who else? Guns and Arrows has the Bills. So if the Bills advance, he's gonna have a good chance. And then Show Me Your TDs, Jamie will have a chance as well, considering he has Mahomes and I believe one. Ronald Jones as well, and I think one other Chief.
Sonny, I will say this: Zaps is a sharp better, so I wouldn't be fading Zaps. That's my guess.
Yeah, wouldn't be my choice.
And then Zaps, I tend to agree. I would probably lean Bills money line over Bills +3, but there's obviously going to be more variance on a Bills money line.
I don't really like betting because here's a good example. Like they put all of these statistics out on Pinnacle. Like they must feel that they have the line like perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, you know what I mean? Like, it just why would you give out all that information? Yikes! Doug Williams, Super Bowl MVP.
According to some very, very rough calculations, I think there's like 2% better edge taking the money line over the spread.
I believe that.
For the Bills, that is. But it also just depends what your what the odds are for you. That's a different Dylan, Sonny. That's a different Dylan. Dylan Clark.
That's DC Dylan Clark. Hello, Mickey. How are you, sir? A lot of points you put up here, Mickey. You have no players left, but you do have a chance in the fantasy.
Hey, Mickey. Sorry, guys. It's been hard to keep up with all the chat while getting prepped for this game. This game's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this game. 5-star entertainment, as I would say. And And let's see if we've got the final numbers yet for this game. Yeah, 35,899 bets. So one of the
Unreal.
I think this might be the second highest bet game this year. I think actually the first game of the year was bet more between Houston and Kansas City, which I find kind of ironic that
Don't you think?
it's like rain.
Get comfy here.
Congrats, DC, on that McGregor-Poirier fight. I actually left that fight alone. Our friend, who's an excellent UFC handicapper, he actually had over 1.5 rounds, and it hit by 2 seconds. So he was fairly excited by that. But he had a nice day. I think he was 5-2 on the day. So it was a good day for him. What's going on, Mud? People lost a lot on Green Bay. Yeah, the books did well. The books did well on that Tampa Bay win. So the Bills start with the ball. So Kansas City is going to be getting the ball at the start of the second half.
Cole Beasley padding Big Rise fantasy stats. Yeah, they do, Mud. They have a lot of exposure on Tampa Bay futures, so interesting stuff. I wonder if Bills winning the Super Bowl is the best result for them.
Yeah, it's hard to say because the odds are so juiced up for Kansas City, like they have been all year, that like surprisingly Kansas City winning might not be a bad result
like
for
the
them.
Payout's not that bad. Because they were as low as plus 200.
That's got to be a flag on Chris Jones.
Are you showing the game, Big Rye?
I am not. Yeah, no problem, Untouchable. I'm here for the hard-hitting facts like who starts with the ball in the second half.
2 targets so far for Cole Beasley. The critically acclaimed rapper. Can we give him that designation?
Cole Beasley?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Yeah, you gotta fill me in on that. I don't know about Cole Beasley's rap career.
I know I think he put out a single. I don't know how successful it was, but
well, that's something I probably didn't.
You're
need
not
to
missing
know,
much, I wouldn't
now.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Third and 7 for the Bills.
Where are they going to spot this ball? You got to think fourth down when you're going against the Chiefs, right? Good spot by the referee. It was short.
Yeah, it looked about a yard short.
Yeah, I like this call. This makes complete sense.
Well, they came to win. If there's one thing that we can say about Buffalo, it's that they're not going to not be aggressive.
Yes, that's a good point. Getting a critical fourth down play to Dawson Knox. They would have got it any which way. If he handed off to Yeldon, it would be hard pressed for him not to get it. TJ Yeldon, former Alabama running back, selected second round by the Jaguars.
Gained 8. And that
I remember when Yeldon was considered the guy until they picked up Fournette, I guess 2 years later, 3 years later.
Yeah, I think they had an interloper in between as well.
It never really worked out for TJ Yeldon.
No. But I think the injury to Zach Moss has forced their hand here. Just surprised Singletary isn't getting the reps that have been left on the field.
I would think that Yeldon is actually probably the better passing down option.
Yeah.
And I could see Yeldon turning into actually a pretty good passing down back for the tail part of his career. Untouchable, like that fourth down play. I'd have to agree. I thought that was a pretty good one. Having like Josh Allen being able to run the ball and being as big as he is gives you such an advantage on fourth down.
Well, he can get rough yards like pretty easy. He might be the best at it, as far as quarterbacks go.
Yeah, if Cam Newton was a little healthier, I'd give it to Cam, but
Yeah,
Josh Allen's a
that's
lot
the
healthier
difference.
than Cam Newton.
Intercepted. Wow. I want to see that again.
That was really close if it wasn't. He actually made a really good call there on the incomplete pass.
Oh, that's why he's wearing the 22 numbers, as they would say.
I really,
Yes.
really like what the Chiefs did there defensively because, like, Josh Allen's going to keep the ball more often than not, so you should be attacking him, especially whoever's on that side, like on the containment side of the quarterback. Like, just go downhill and attack him. And the
Tyler
Bills,
Bass successful, and Stuart Johnson pointing out that Beasley was playing some nice DB there. Yeah, I mean that's 3 points realistically.
what's going on, Stu? Commentators are definitely on the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs are just such a public team that's what the commentators are going to be talking about. The fact, I got to get your thoughts here, but I thought it was bad enough that the Detroit Lions hired Dan Campbell to be their head coach for the next 25 years or whatever their contract is. I'm being,
Yeah.
What was it, a 6-year deal, I think?
6 years, yeah.
And then they also have decided to hire Anthony Lynn as the offensive coordinator. I can't think of a better, like a funnier marriage.
I don't. It feels like a frat house, like they're workout buddies. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the first thing I
Fit his
thought,
coaching staff, I would say.
because we always talked to, you've jokingly talked about like if there was a head coach death match between all
Yes.
32
Fight to the
head
death,
coaches,
battle royale.
that Anthony Lynn would be up there on your list.
He'd be I would have him as a favorite.
But I think Dan Campbell is right there with him. So
Yes.
maybe we're going to get some violence in the locker room between those two guys and some players. That wouldn't be too bad.
Well,
But
they want to bite kneecaps off or some stupid thing like that.
Yeah, I don't know what Detroit's doing. Like, it's comical. Like, if you and I had to pick like a joke coaching team, like, can we get Hugh Jackson in as the quarterback
OC?
coach?
Quarterback coach.
Like,
Yeah.
who's the worst defensive coach in your mind? Who would you not want coaching your defense?
Mike Nolan's up there.
Can we get Mike Nolan as a defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions?
I think he's like a linebacker coach now in college. So.
Okay.
Or maybe he didn't get rehired. Who knows? That could be mistaken there. He
Stu's
got
all in.
fired at Dallas.
Stu's all in. He said, "I don't know how Anthony Lynn and Mike McCarthy still have jobs."
Well, it's interesting. Well, the one thing though is like they're pretty raw. Who's going to do the X's and O's in Detroit?
I don't know.
I think Matt Stafford is. I believe their
parting
departure
ways.
is confirmed. Yeah.
I don't think he could have said that fast enough when he found out who the coaching staff was.
Well, no, he probably did some like homework and realized I don't want to waste these years, And it's dangerous, honestly. Like, I don't know.
Oh, Fear says Romeo Crennel, but I
I
think
don't.
Romeo.
I
I
can't
like
hate on
Romeo
Romeo.
Crennel.
He's had some. He's had some good years. He's had some bad personnel he's had to deal with. As a head coach, he left a lot to be desired. I'll be honest, of the Chiefs.
Sonny
I
got
mean,
kicked
even
out of Cowboys Stadium last year, which I think is a really nice tidbit to know. Sorry, fat guy, cut you off there.
what was I gonna say? Lost my train of thought. It happens.
Stafford to the Colts would be awesome.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, it would be.
Stafford and Indy. I think Indy would be a Super Bowl contender.
I think they might be close to the favorite. I really like their team. Nice tackle, 39.
Sonny also brings up another team. The Giants would actually. I wouldn't mind seeing Stafford on the Giants, but I really don't see them going away from Daniel Jones. But I haven't been a big fan of how Daniel Jones has progressed because he's got the physical tools, but I don't know if he's there.
He's a little bit of a
mentally.
panicker.
Yeah.
That defense played some good games, though, the Giants. The one against the Seahawks in particular.
Nice to see Edwards-Helaire is suited up for this game. The Pats is a very interesting team for Stafford as well, and a very interesting coach. Too much Crown Royal will get you kicked out of a Cowboys game. That's good to know. Oh, a big draw from Tyreek Hill, who is usually so sure-handed. That's something you don't see from Tyreek Hill very often. It looked like Tre'Davious White knew the route that Hill was going to run, and Hill still beat him. Oh.
That's a big hit. Roberts underselling that.
He spit out his mouth guard and tried to catch it, and he missed it. So I don't know if Andre Roberts is all there after that one. Oh, Hill had so much separation on that play. Watching that second replay, like from the high up, like the eagle eye camera. Oh, Stewart, I couldn't believe that. It made me sick for Green Bay, but it was very nice being on Tampa Bay. I couldn't believe it. Just snafus all around at the end of both halves, it felt like.
Yeah, I don't know how. When's the last time like a play like that was given up? I think it was Green Bay executed it against who was it? The Giants?
Oh, it was the Jets did it. The Jets did it to lose a game, and what's his name got fired?
Greg Williams. But I meant in a playoff game. The last time I could remember.
You'd be better off.
Yeah, it was the Giants. Yeah, you and I bet that the Giants that game. They got annihilated against Green Bay. And I'm perplexed at this the end of the game of the Green Bay Tampa Bay. I don't know if the field goal is the right decision because we can chastise it, but I don't actually know the math, and I'm just trying to work my way around it, and I can't come up with a a way where it's better, but I mean, it is plausible. Like, I don't know everything, right?
I think a lot of what like I saw some math and it talked about how it was the right decision. I think what's really tough is because it was, I think, 4th and 8, like from, or 4th and goal from like the 8. So it's probably because they were so far back, and that's why the percentages were as they were. Because eventually, like each yard you go back further, the less likely you are to make that play. And so I don't know what kind of math they're using, or what kind of sample from previous data that they're using, because those numbers would fluctuate depending on what the sample is.
No, absolutely. I'm still thinking about, like, because I thought it was insane, but then I'm recalculating my decision, because maybe it's just something I don't understand. So, what, he caught that, or the ball come out? He got popped. Diggs is one of my least favorite personalities in the NFL, but it's undeniable how strong of a season he's had. Yeah, Jackson, that's the thing. Like, I just don't get it. Like, that's the thing. I mean, maybe there is some weird way where it's actually better. I still don't get it. It's weird to see the Bills run more than 3 yards. Like it not be Allen.
Well, it's been weird to see the Bills run, period. Like they have fallen in love with throwing the ball more so than any team I can remember in the past.
Nice slide. Very nice slide. Great run. And I thought he was dead to rights, to be honest, and he managed to slip away.
For Josh Allen's size, it's unbelievable how athletic he is.
Yeah,
It
it's
really is
true.
unbelievable how athletic he is. Mud said the lines are already out. Fat guy, we might as well. What do you think if the Buffalo Bills are leading right now? If it's Buffalo Tampa Bay, what do you think the line is?
Bills -1.
And if it's Kansas City Tampa Bay?
KC -2.5.
And this is a...
I'm surprised they
really
didn't get that ball out.
Snead has looked very good rushing the passer early on in this game.
That was slick. Wow. He touched his helmet, though.
He also had the
I
pressure.
can't believe he didn't fumble.
Yeah. Sheed had the... is it Snead or Sheed? It's Snead, right?
Snead.
Snead had the pressure on that third down play where he almost threw the interception. And then he had pressure on this play to make it 3rd and 22. So he's single-handedly blown up 2 drives here for the Buffalo Bills.
Mickey, I'm surprised it wasn't a screen. Like 3rd and 23, that's just like the gold standard. Wow, Chris Jones' bull rush there was huge. Like, he literally just pushed the O lineman straight back. You can't write this stuff.
I took my eyes off of it for 1 second. What did the returner do? Did he
He
just...
miffed it.
And it looks like it's Hardman.
I've been taking bets, and I already lost today, and now I have the Chiefs at -3 plus 115. And again, it's just stuff like this. Wow. Well, it is what it is. And I got a future on the Bills too that I took. Tough. It is the Kansas City Chiefs, though. If it were any team to you know, claw their way back at a potential 10-0 deficit, this is probably the team. They're still not in, though. Now they're in. And that's Dylan Toddfield points right there. Yeah, football team was a big flyer, though, Jack. It's no big deal.
Did that
No,
not...
Tyler Bass missed.
His is a
He hit
miss,
the
right?
upright.
It hit the upright.
Yeah, they also were the two favorites, though, of Perva. So it's not exactly. It's not a stretch, right? It's a good prediction, but it's still they're the two most likely. I would hardly say the Chiefs are out of this.
On a fat guy, my brother just sent me some messages. On December 16th, he bet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make the Super Bowl and the Buffalo Bills to make the Super Bowl and the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. And he's already cashed in on one of his plays.
Wow. Yeah, I got 6 players, Mickey. I have no Bills, though, so I would need a Chiefs victory to keep my 6 players, so. It's kind of surreal to think this Bucks team made the Super Bowl, despite their I would call it an uneven season.
Were you guys able to see that link that I posted? If you follow that link, you can see the fantasy standings. Yeah, fat guy still has 6 players.
Yeah, well, Watkins and Bell are hurt, Perva. So I'm probably the favorite, although if you get a victory with the Bills here, you have a reasonable chance. Mickey has a lot of points too, so it's tough to catch up. I could have taken Mike Evans over any of those, and Ryan Suckup over Will Lutz. Those are all things percolating, and I didn't do it. So I only have myself to blame if that's the case.
Thank you, Brett. Appreciate the kind words on the NHL betting market video.
The laces were out. There should be no Ray Finkel thing. Buffalo should know a thing or two about missing kicks in the playoffs.
Yikes.
I did not, Jax. I can't speak for Big Rye, though.
I did not, Jackson. Is there anything that you like in the NBA?
I think that'd be forward progress, I would imagine, the first down.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look right now. Looks like the line has moved in favor of the Cavaliers, despite there being more money on the Celtics, both against the spread. The money line markets are actually pretty close, so not much to pull from there. There's been a large swing against the spread for the Charlotte Hornets, which is interesting to note, but they have received a lot of money as well. So probably just to stay away. And it's balanced by Magic Moneyline money. The books are actually taking some exposure on the Wizards. There might be some value on the Spurs. There's nothing that really stands out to me. Lots of money on the Bucks.
Nice play. Real nice play. I don't know why Kelce had to cut inside, though, and, like, take contact there. It's the fumble risk is so much larger than just pushing to the outside there.
I believe it is reverse line movement on the Cavs. If I still have enough time, I'll jump on it. I don't know if I do, though. It's probably... Oh, it still is available. I'll take that. I got it at minus 1 unit at minus 102. Plus 6. Oh, drop from Kelce.
2 drops for the Chiefs here. That's uncharacteristic of a strong skill position group they have. There you go. Hill redeeming himself a little bit with that first down. Tony Romo is chastising Tremaine Edmonds for not being in the right spot there. You have Hill swoon like cutting across your zone. That's not a fair matchup. You have to sell out to one thing. He just picked the wrong side. But even if he sold out to the pass that was made, there was still a very good likelihood of a completion.
Well, there's an example where he did sell out and Kelce just beat him on the second move.
It's just crazy.
Tremaine Edmonds he's going to be on an island in this game no matter who he's against in the passing game. It's just not fair for him.
It's not like I almost feel bad. It's just tough. You know, like when it's because you can't think your way out of that one. You know what I mean? There's no like you can anticipate only so much. You're just outmatched, and he's not a bad athlete. It's just on those two plays, like Tyreek Hill, it's just not even. There's very few humans in the planet, let alone a linebacker, that can deal with that.
I'm curious when linebackers are going to be strictly drafted for covering purposes rather than actually having to play downhill, or kind of doing what Green Bay did. I know previously when they only had Blake Martinez as the only linebacker that would really play snaps, and the rest was all defensive backs or safeties.
Well, I'm wondering when they get my theory is they would just go safeties as linebackers. Do you know what I mean?
Kind of like what the Chargers did in the playoffs.
A little bit. You should be able to run up the gut against them, though.
Well, in theory, I'm curious because there has been such an emphasis between like EPA and like how much more passing is worth than running. I'm curious when teams are just going to go all out to stop the pass on defense and give up those runs. Like we've talked about, like we feel like the NFL is like there's still so much edge to be gained from coaching staffs and how they treat it. Like think about like the NBA and how much stuff has changed in the NBA. A key tackle there.
Yeah, I wonder if they go for it. Yeah, good. Wow, he really could have got that if he had moved his body a little bit differently.
Just a little bit lack of awareness there by Byron Pringle.
This is the other thing too. Like, why does it have to be like a decision? Do you know what I mean? Like, just go to the line and run it. Like, why is Indy the only team that does that? They do this like big ceremony about a fourth down decision. Just have it wired in, right? Like, why does it have to be a thing? Just make it business as usual. You know, it would probably take a lot of the pressure off, would it not?
Well, I don't know. It should just be another. It should just be another play.
Yes, it should be. It is. It isn't just another play, you know? Like, I don't know. When I watched the Colts play and they went for it multiple times on fourth down, it just looked so polished. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing that from other teams. That looked almost too easy. How could you even, like, if it's 4th and 3 and you're the Chiefs, how do you not go for it? At midfield or better? Nice ball security, Tyreek. This is a long drive, eh, Big Rye?
Sure is.
I feel like this camera is better, too, the one they're using. Seems a little bit more clear.
Well, they've introduced this new camera, and I love it. I think it looks awesome.
I feel like I'm not deserving of it because I have my poor eyesight. I'm like, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm not good enough for this camera. Mind you, I can still watch a movie in standard definition. I actually almost prefer it, only because if a movie has to be good in HD, it's not a good movie.
You got to watch this one in the theaters.
Well, they do that now. They put $0 or like $100 into this story and 300 million into everything else. Like, I don't know. It's a bit of a turnoff if you're a cinephile. Not that I am necessarily, but I am. I like a good movie here and there.
That's the same
Especially
feedback
now.
we get about our picks videos.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at least Jax is on my team. Update on the playoff leaderboard. That would be in Big Rise King's Court.
It's there is a link that I posted up. Let me see if I can get it back in here. No.
Stuart, I could hand deliver it to you.
Oh, are you talking? I sent you the fantasy leaderboard, so ignore that. Let me update the.
That quarter went quick, it felt like.
Yep, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, man. Next time I stay at Big Rise house, it's really going to be hard not to give him the pillow treatment. Sometimes you got to go.
Hey, I've had a good run.
Travis Kelce reminds me of your brother.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they did that shovel pass play. I love that play. Isn't it just so creative?
Did it work out?
Yeah. It looked kind of sketchy though, the like when it was received, but it ended up working out here. What a play. 24. Diving over Kelce to get the pass batted down. Nice block from Kelce. And McCole Hardman getting a little bit of redemption here with a touchdown, despite giving one up on special teams, essentially. Yeah, I think it was Zaps. I like that one. And you get your tight end in front, too. Not that Kelsey's a blocking machine, but I mean, really, he's a big body. He should win that matchup. And to have him versus Levi Wallace, I would hope so.
Stu, you're in a three-way tie for first place.
Bucker's good. 9-7 Bills. You know what I'm kind of excited for? The Dolphins draft. Like it's such a weird thing. Like I'm not a Dolphins fan, but like I just want to see what they do and how they piece it together.
Yeah, it's such a strong team that it's a fun team to like.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I want to see what their options are and what they decide to do. Because they might have really like there's a chance that this could work out so handsomely that this could really set the blueprint on how to go from, zero to hero more or less.
Well, the toughest part with it all is that there's not his name's skipping me right now, but the head coach for Miami,
Flores.
yeah, Brian Flores, like that's the secret to all of this. At least I feel like he's been kind of the glue that's put it all together, because he has gotten so much out of the players that they've brought in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just anybody could do that. I feel like
they couldn't have started any worse last year. Like that was probably the worst team we have ever seen was the Dolphins in the first 4 weeks.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
It was new guys that didn't really gel much. I mean, they didn't have much of a grasp of, I guess, what they're trying to do in Miami. That would be my best guess, right? Like, obviously, we're not in the locker room, so we can't make informative decision. But 60% of the players were new to the Dolphins within 10 days of this first game. I mean, how well could that go, right? So, but by the end of the year, they had some strong performances, and this year they had a great season, 10-6. Yeah, Brett, I'm glad that you followed me, I guess, on the right ones, because I did pick them all, and I think we were subpar, I would say, but I don't bet all the games that I select in the contest. So,
well, picks wise, we did
still in Toddfield.
Picks wise, we did poorly, but betting wise, it was actually a very strong.
It was a great year. It was a really great year. Yeah, it's absolutely WR and RB, absolutely. But the thing is, those, in my opinion, those aren't high picks. Like I think you could take 3rd to 7th round, you can just load up on those guys, I would want to add a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman with those, at least one of those first round picks. Yes, Dylan, let's hear the announcement, sir. You have the conch. Wow, that was a boomer, that kick. Okay, Dylan, we'll hold you to that. I'm willing to give you 200 to 1 on that. You don't have to, but I'm floating it out there.
Buffalo up 2. They start from their own 25.
That's a nice tackle. You know what I like? I like the refereeing in these playoffs, don't you think?
No, they've been pretty hands off. Other than they did give a call at the end of the game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to help them with the first down. It looks like Chris Jones threw a punch. It's pretty nasty on the this matchup between the Buffalo O-line and the Chiefs D-line to start out this game.
You don't want to lose Chris Jones, though. Like, someone's got to talk to him.
What?
What was that? That was a German suplex.
Well, why did he... he gave up on that play, and then they spotted the ball 7 yards back. That made no sense to me.
And then now there's a flag? And what's German about a suplex? That's all I'd like to know.
Yeah, you're more of a belly-to-belly suplex kind of guy.
Well, yeah, it's a point of leverage, Big Ryan. You understand physics, right? Like, why did he do that? I don't understand.
I just don't get why the ball was spotted after he got driven back 7 yards. Rashad Breeland channeling his inner Chris Benoit.
You have to be careful there, Big Rye.
Yeah, you're right. My cholesterol is getting pretty high.
Too many cross-faced chicken wings. Nice run defense.
Yeah, did they... Yeah, any other time that Chris Benoit suplexes a flag?
I think this game could get really, really ugly at the end.
It could. Dylan, a lot of us could get arrested for looking at pictures of you.
That was regrettable from Singletary. He couldn't have thrown that any nicer to him, too. Like, that was a dad to his son throw.
Yeah, he was looking upfield before he made the play. It's one of those ones where it's probably better to get it into him a little bit quicker, because then if it's hanging up in the air long enough as a skill position player, you probably think you're just going to get rocked.
That looks like grounding to me.
It sure did.
Is he out of the box? I don't know. Where did they snap the ball on that hash? I think this is a flag.
Oh, he definitely.
And I don't
managed
think
to
it
get
made
out
it
of
to
the box. The ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and they do call intentional grounding. So good call, fat guy.
Oh, Jay being reminiscent about the fabled Hartford Whalers, the Quebec Nordiques. I don't know what a Nordique is, but I sure like that name.
Some of the best jerseys too.
Yeah. Oh, the fleur de lis, very cool. You know what's unfortunate for the Quebec Nordiques? They move the first year that they're in Colorado. They move from Quebec. They win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that's unlucky. That was kind of
It
like
is.
when I felt the same way about like OKC never won a championship, but the Seattle Supersonics, like they get Durant and then they get taken out of the city. Like, can you think of a more like? There's not many more exciting NBA players than having Kevin Durant on your team, and then
How
they
about being
managed to get.
Cleveland?
Oh,
How about being the Browns? You move to Baltimore, you get reinstated, and Baltimore wins 2 Super Bowls, and they're the real Browns. I don't know. That's got to stick in your craw the most.
Well, you know who doesn't get enough flack about the decision is LeBron James. Do you remember how terrible that was when he went on TV and told
I'm gonna
told
take
the
my
world
talents
he was,
to South Beach.
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest things I've seen in sports history.
It was like, yeah, I think he knew though how hokey it was after, because like you did TV drama to pick what basketball team you want to play for. Like, I don't know. The thing is, that's that generational gap. Oh, Roland Walton. Wow. Yeah, LeBron's not my cup of tea, but I have to tip my hat at what type of athlete he is. The one thing though is I can't hate on these guys too much, because one, we don't actually know them, you know what I mean, and two, like their lives, for all intensive purposes, are I would say very difficult, because I don't think the amount of money they get, considering I don't know, being that famous to me would be worse than anything I can think of. Maybe a surprise birthday party every day for the rest of my life, which is, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like, being that famous is it would be difficult, and your personality would most likely change, and it just is what it is. Because LeBron's got to be one of the most famous people in the world. Like, I don't think you can find too many people more recognizable than him. He's way more global than, Him and maybe what, Cristiano Ronaldo?
I forgot about the quote. Wasn't it Chris Bosh that said not 5, not 6, not 7 when he's talking about NBA titles they were going to win?
Yeah. Would they win 2?
I don't even remember.
And one was so close to being a Spurs one that that 3. How many new people with the Wow and Wilsons?
I'm loving this. I'm loving Dylan is single-handedly helping us with our concurrent viewers.
And Schwara Holdings, Josh Geppen, Drake Bonds, Barry Fruity.
You couldn't have taken the time to actually set up pictures for all of these, Dylan?
Where do you get these names?
I don't know, but I'm going to start using all of these as aliases.
Oh, that's your Rusty Shackelford?
Yeah, I'm going to show up
This
and
is
say,
crazy. This is a crazy play. That was unreal. And you know what's interesting? Look at the chops on Andy Reid. You take a guy that was defeated after making him his mistake and then realizing, hey, I probably need him, in the Super Bowl. So instead of letting him wallow on the bench, you feature him in 2 plays, and look what's happened. It's impressive. It's impressive to say the least.
It's impressive, too. He didn't actually make a difference in the play, but Tyreek Hill, I don't know where he was behind the play, but he somehow made it in front of even Nicole Hardman as a lead block. I'm going to find it really weird, Mickey, when I travel to my next location and I go to check in as Barry Fruity and they go, "Oh, we've been expecting you, Mr. Toddfield." Now it makes me think that Dylan Toddfield is just another alias that he has.
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know.
I doubt they are, Beard. I doubt they are. We do a cooking contest on my birthday every year, except this one we didn't get a chance to. But I'm 3-1 in the contest, but I have yet to go up against my sisters, so perhaps that could be the next one. No, 3-0-1. I tied one year. My Zub Aglione wasn't that good. That was what hurt me.
Your Zub Aglione? What is that?
It's like a custard Italian dessert with whipped sugar and alcohol. I didn't burn I didn't heat my alcohol out. I didn't burn it off, so it just tasted very boozy. So I lost on that. I never made one though. I tried to be like a tough guy and just do it on the fly, but you don't make a custard Italian dessert for your first time. It's just not going to work out.
They really are picking on Edmonds in this passing game.
Mahomes is doing a good.
Edmonds as your 5th rusher.
Yeah, what's he doing there? You got a good point. What's the difference, right? Why not just have a safety there? What a play. Touchdown, Chiefs. Bye, Curious George. That's all right. I'm down with that. I can't believe you don't like Greek dessert. It's great. It really is. Tiramisu I could do without. I'll be real, but I don't know how you don't like baklava. Honey, nuts, phyllo pastry. It's delightful.
Yeah, I'm not a big tiramisu
Me neither.
fan
I could do without that. And okay, Italian desserts, gelato. You can't beard. You can't knock gelato. Mickey Hill's a fan of tiramisu, so I think this argument will rage on into the Discord, I'm sure. And I'm Irish, yeah. Okay, all right. Beard is conceding gelato. Okay, thank you. I didn't want you to get, because if you dug your heels in, you'd just basically be a liar if you didn't like gelato. Like a hazelnut one? Oh.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't even know if Fat Guy knows this, but my favorite dessert of all time is tartufo.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought yours was a chocolate Jamocha shake from
those are excellent too.
Arby's.
I do love Jamocha shakes from Arby's. It's a guilty pleasure, and they're hard to find in Canada, so sometimes I even have to cross the border to get one.
Remember how good Costco pizzas were, and then when they got so bad? That was the weirdest thing to me. It was like the same packaging and everything, and it went from awesome to the absolute inedible garbage.
Oh yeah, I remember. Trust me. Creme brulee is awesome. I love creme brulee. What would
Eric's got the
Untouchable
under?
not do for a Klondike bar?
Yeah.
What's going on, Eric? How you doing?
What are those European ice creams? Boss doubles. Remember those last time I was in Greece, having like 5 of those a day.
No, I've never heard of a Boss Double.
It's a bit like a Haagen-Dazs one. It's closer to that. I like how Haagen-Dazs has that name, and it's really just from like Pennsylvania or something.
I still like that when you had a family member, a Greek family member, visit and come to Canada. His demand was he had to go to Dairy Queen once a day.
Every day he wanted to go to Dairy Queen. Yeah, my cousin Christos, he's from he is a flour baron in Greece. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So he sells pasta flour. Anyways, he came to Canada and he'd never seen soft serve, and he couldn't wrap his mind around it, because in Greece, it's in the summer, it's just way too hot. Like, I don't know how you could have soft. Like, it was 40 degrees most of the places. And then, yeah, then he had a blizzard, and that was it. And he would get literally a dipped cone and a blizzard once or twice every day. He wanted it for dinner. And he was begging me. It was like, honestly, it was like a drug addict. Please, the Dairy Queen. I'm like, all right. Should have bought shares in the company that month.
I want to know a lot more about this cousin Balky, because this seems like something I'd be 100% into.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who cousin Balky is. That sounds accurate, though.
Cousin Balky was a character in Perfect Strangers.
I don't know it. Could you enlighten me?
I googled it because I needed to know. Balky Bartokamos. I don't know how
Don't
to say
worry
this.
about it.
Do you know how to say it? You know what I'm trying to say?
I haven't looked at the name, so I can't.
This was a sitcom, it looks like, from the late 80s
Oh!
to early 90s.
Oh, so close to interception.
Well, Buffalo's struggled defensively for most of the year. They it's like they're the opposite of Pittsburgh, where it's like they had this like Pittsburgh had the awesome offense, now they have the awesome defense. It's like it's switched for Buffalo too. They went from having this awesome defense to now having this unreal offense.
That was a nice play by the O-lineman. That's pretty. It was the same year, Beard. It really was the same year I was dunking on people at the YMCA. I was so bad at basketball. If I played one-on-one, I would just post up on the guy, and if I lost my dribble, I'd just throw it off the backboard. Like, jeez. Hard to beat me, though, because it's hard to stop me. I was too big.
Fear.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of Filipino friends, and we have a friend, and he's like 5'11", but he's still like 6 or 7 inches taller than everyone. So we just call him Filipino Shaq. So it's like all relative, right? Like fat guy was the Shaq of local high school basketball, I guess you could say. Very
I guess
local.
I was the biggest guy in the. It's so weird. Stanley Steamer. Well, turning over the ball by means of a punt here. Chiefs are going to get cooking on offense again. The 5'11's Filipino Shaq. That's so funny.
Well, because he would like when we would play some street ball and stuff, and he would dominate in the paint. There's nothing anyone else could do.
Oh, that's so he was the post. He was the post guy.
Yeah, he destroyed
so
people
funny.
inside.
That's so funny.
So everything's all relative. Just because fat guy is dunking on 8-foot hoops, you don't have to give him a tough time here.
Yeah.
Gotta give it to Barry Fruity for his originality, though. Yeah, the Steelers' offense wasn't sustainable. No running game.
Yeah, he's right. He's 100% right. But I think Big Rye was talking about like the Bell days.
Yeah, just how they went from having, like, I feel bad for teams that like they go for a couple of years with an awesome offense, and then they go a couple of years with an awesome defense. It's like they couldn't have got it all together at the same time and competed for a Super Bowl. They always have to like oscillate between having, one that's good or one that's bad. What do Greeks like? Is there fast food in Greece?
Not really. Like
is there like street meat that you can pick up?
yeah, there's that kind of stuff, and there's like this weird fast food place called Foodies or Goodies or something. Oh, I got to be honest though, they have the cleanest McDonald's I've ever seen, and they have like multiple staff there, like just hovering around tables, and it's like a restaurant almost. It's the weirdest thing in the world. So, I'll give them that.
How could you not love Muggsy Bogues? The guy was a perennial underdog at all times, and not a bad basketball player either. I always liked that Earl Boykins could lift like a ridiculous amount on the bench press. I always found that to be very interesting. Stanley Reamer is going to be DTF's new alias.
Oh, Beard, I got an interesting story about that. I played Greek League here, and we played this team, and I was a decent player, like soccer. When I played soccer, I was center mid, and the opposing center mid on the team we played was like 60 years old, and I'm like, I'm gonna crush this guy. I was only 19 at the time too, so I was in real good shape. And then we lost 5-0, and I've never been beaten in a sport that badly in my life. He's kicking it through my legs at will. He shot from 40 yards out and scored. He had perfect balls, perfect touch. And then I found out that he played for Juventus in like 40 years before. So and he was an immobile 60-year-old man, and I have never been destroyed that badly at a sport. So I can't even imagine what he would have been like in his prime, right? And that just exactly like, professional athletes. We don't know anything about it. We're regular Joes.
Roland, what's a fast food restaurant called in Uzbekistan?
Yeah. I like how Roland Walton is from Uzbekistan. Yeah, Beard, I got destroyed. Like destroyed. Yeah, he played in the Greek Super League and on Juventus for 1 year when he was 17 or 18.
It also reminds me of the time that our mutual friend, who we only get to see once in a while. I remember he
Bald
brought out
guy?
a guy. No, he's got a healthy head of hair. An actual friend.
Oh, okay.
A guy who does some teaching, let's say,
Okay.
overseas, let's say.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Hypothetically.
Yes.
I remember he brought a guy to play indoor with us once, and that was one of the most amazing players I've ever seen. And he was about your size too. He was a huge
Oh,
man.
really?
Yeah, it's just amazing when you see guys that are like, actually even close to resembling a professional athlete.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
getting to play
exactly.
against them. It's a whole different level of.
Yeah, it totally is. Roland Walton is. Can someone check out Dylan Dodfield's Google history? All right, 179 total yards for the Chiefs. It's kind of just blowing right by here. I wouldn't be surprised if they scored again.
Todd Dillonfield. There's no way that could be related to Dylan Toddfield. Now I just have a feeling that everybody's creating an alias to pretend that it's Dylan.
It's fun. It's like the Guy Fawkes mask.
Yeah.
Oh, that hole just collapsed. Hilaire had a lot of daylight in front of him.
It was interesting because that defensive lineman was like really in containment, but he closed that gap pretty quickly when he realized it was Edwards Hilaire who had the ball.
Surprised Hilaire didn't hurdle there. What a play. Wow. Owen Wilson is a blonde dude with a weird nose. I finally figured out where M. Night Shyamalan got his ideas from. How did he get out of that? That was unreal. Wow, man. It's just gonna be hard to beat this team.
Faka, you would have liked the reference, but Jordan Whitefield played one hell of a game, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they played so downhill on defense. Like, it was so satisfying to just see a team sell out on every single tackle, and they tackled
He's a good
so well.
safety. He's an aggressive, hard-hitting safety, and we just don't see that.
And
I like their linebackers too, let's be honest.
He forced, I think, 2 fumbles, and like it looked like he was playing with the game breaker turned on, like in NFL Street.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
you know, like
the
you like he hit stick him.
oh, it was insane. Like, it was just every hit he had seemed like it was causing a fumble or like hurting, like causing physical.
I saw the
pain
Aaron
to
Jones one.
Oh, it was
and didn't he flip over Jamal Williams as well? Like, he landed a nice one on him too.
Yeah, yeah. It was quite the performance, let's say. And they were missing Winfield too. He was inactive for the game, which was kind of like a worry for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on defense, and it just didn't matter. Even the replacement Mike Edwards played really, really well at safety. I want to know if Kelsey's going to get a dating show renewed for this offseason. So he's a good yard short there. Did they call a timeout or is there a challenge? What's the
It's a
hold up?
timeout. It looks to be, which I'm very confused at.
And was it charged to the Chiefs? Because the Buffalo still has all 3 timeouts. Mean Gene.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah, I think Kelsey would do well on Dancing with the Stars.
Touchdown, Edwards-Helaire. Chiefs taking a nice lead here. They're up 20-9.
Fear asking if Bieniemy leaves this offseason, is Kansas City still going to keep rolling with Andy Reid?
Of course. I do feel bad for Reid because his I feel like he's a little bit more, he's a better teacher than Belichick is as far as staff goes. So he kind of gets poached, you know?
Yeah.
Like he really does. And it's unfortunate for him, right? Because, I mean, like, think about it. Anyone connected to Andy Reid's offensive prowess is going to be a head coaching candidate, you know, realistically. I don't know. I can't say for sure, Eric. So usually I have Super Bowl obligations every year, but this one could be different.
Well, it's interesting that Sean McDermott is part of that Andy Reid tree. So really, this is a Andy Reid coaching matchup in this one. John Harbaugh as well.
No, that's not what I said, Perva. I said that Andy Reid produces better candidates for hire. That's what I said.
This is quite the impressive. And I'm sure there's more. Sean McDermott, John Harbaugh, Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, Ron Rivera, Todd Bowles, Pat Shurmur, Leslie Frazier, Steve Spagnuolo, and Brad Childress. Not all of them have had head coaching success, like especially Spagnuolo, who's 11-41 as a head coach. But all of these guys have had success either as head coaches or as coordinators.
Yeah, Doug Peterson. Yeah, I don't think Belichick was a product of Tom Brady. I strongly disagree with that. Belichick is unbelievable.
I think also, like, Belichick had those seasons where did Garoppolo ever actually play like a meaningful sample of games? Or
played three for
yeah, so nothing then. But who was the other guy? Matt Castle? Didn't Matt Castle have
Matt
a full
Castle
season?
they won 11-5 with.
Yeah, that's
Then they traded him for a second round pick to the Chiefs next year.
That's pretty nice. And then what did they trade Garoppolo for? Was it a second round pick as well?
Might have been a first. Yeah, it's it may be a second. I really don't recall.
Fear said he'll take Patricia over any of Reid's disciples.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Fear, did you hear that Dan Campbell is going to be the head coach of Detroit, and they're going to have Anthony Lynn as the offensive coordinator? I am very looking forward to seeing that team play.
Belichick actually has a losing record. No, there's no way he does. If you count like the Matt Castle games, and you count the Jacoby Brissett games, they're for sure winners. And the Jimmy Garoppolo games.
Reed came from Holmgren, and Holmgren came from Walsh. So it all stems back to Walsh.
The Brown games?
He's talking about when Belichick was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, yeah. I think they went to the playoffs 2 of the 3 years I think he was the head coach. Bill Walsh is a boss, Mickey.
With Cleveland, he was 36-44, so he's 45%
Oh,
winning
really?
percentage. And then with New England, he's been 72%, that's over 21 years. I'm not sure how many of it was with Brady. But yeah, his first year he went 5-11. Since then he won 9 or more games from 2001 all the way to 2019. That's unreal. Including 6 Super Bowls in the span of less than 20 years. That's pretty crazy.
These are some dangerous throws. And Yeldon could have got really, really dinged on that one.
Yep. I think it's Perva. It's not fair to say that Brady would be trash without Belichick and Belichick would be trash without Brady.
Yeah.
I think they both mutually helped each other. And I do think that a lot of Brady's success is tied towards Belichick's coaching.
Absolutely. Dawson Knox having quite a strong season. He's kind of taking the next step as a receiving tight end. Stu's got an interesting one. Imagine Brady's career trajectory without the tuck rule. Interesting stuff.
If you're saying Brady just made it to the Super Bowl, I think we know who is trash.
Trash is a strong word for probably the best coach of all time. You could make Don Shula. I think Don Shula is a good argument, though. I think Don Shula coached those really good Baltimore Colts teams before we were born. I think one of the Baltimore Colts teams only lost 1 or 2 games in 3 years, like something ridiculous like that. And one of them was a Super Bowl to the Jets, where they were 17.5-point favorites.
First and 10 for the Bills, just over midfield. Josh Allen with all day to throw here. Oh my goodness.
That was unbelievable.
What a play.
Shula became a head coach at 33. That would have been unheard of back then. Do you know what I mean? For hiring someone that young? Must have been a true leader of men. I can't believe that was completed. Jeff Fisher charged 5 cents per mustache ride.
If there's one thing Jeff Fisher is, it's steady.
Oh, you mean like well, Eric, I just don't know yet. Like, like I haven't seriously bet NBA in 10 years, maybe, right? So a lot of the stuff that I was doing 10 years ago, I don't think applies, right? Like we're just finding our way, finding our feet. So I'd like to give you a solid answer, but I think I'm going to be able to probably by the end of this season,
Look at
maybe
this
maybe by
camera
summer.
angle. Holy smokes, is that awesome. The and Eric, the biggest thing for Fat Guy and I is we are spending more time and devoting more time to collecting as much data as we can to see if there is some inefficiencies that we can find in the markets to find out where there is going to be value, but still we're still compiling that data and still working through it. It's not something that we could just snap our fingers and have done.
You could see it does favor the contrarian more than NFL. I think that's just a general statement. You need mathematics and data to back up anything, right?
The hypothesis is good. Really what Fat Guy is saying is those are hypotheses. Like we ask those questions and then we go and find those answers. Because it's one thing to say
we tried it.
It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to actually put pen to paper and know exactly what your edge is. Because that's been a big topic of discussion in the Discord, is just knowing what the exact value is and your exact edges can be really, really difficult for people to.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to find a close to your perceived edge, right? And that in itself is one of the most, like Big Ryan mentioned, extremely difficult.
That's what you just said there, Eric, is really important. Is thinking and knowing are two different things. So anytime you're basing handicapping off, I think, it's good to hypothesize with I think, but it's not good to bet with I think.
I like how that was put. Because the best way to gamble is to take all of your opinions out of it and just make all of your decisions based on mathematics, essentially. And any eye test, anything that you do, is the more of it you can remove, I believe, the stronger that you get.
I didn't say this to anyone, and the results. This is just I'm gonna pick out an example that's very recent, and that results don't favor. But out of these 4 teams left, honestly, in my head, I thought the Packers were the strongest team. I thought they were the best coached. I thought they had the best overall offense and defense to compete for the Super Bowl, and they're out. So I thought that. I didn't bet that, though. I actually bet Tampa Bay because the market said to bet Tampa Bay. And the results worked out for me in this case. And it's something that's something I've learned over time, is that what I think or what I see doesn't really matter. It's really what the market dictates, because there's so many people that know a lot more than I do, or even the collection of us do.
But the funny thing about you saying that about the Packers, you could very well have been right, but the result doesn't happen. That's another thing too, is you can't be reactionary. That's why it takes a large sample of anything, right? Because just because one thing didn't work out doesn't mean anything. I don't know what's safer. It depends what type of market you're betting. Like if you're just betting spreads, what your win rate. Like there's so many things that go into it. You have to. Whatever has low variance and reasonable edge is the safest thing, and I'm not sure what it would be for you necessarily.
If I had to, gun to my head fear, if I had to tell you what the safest bet is, the safest bet would to be betting baseball money lines at Pinnacle, because the juice is minus 104 on both sides. So over the long term, you're still going to lose 51% of the time, but you're going to lose the least amount betting baseball, if that makes any sense. Because technically everybody should be losing no matter what they're betting, just because the juice is so big. But that's the one sport and the one book that offers the least amount of juice that I've seen.
Well, let's be honest here too. In the last 30 years, the book has come out a loser in baseball 3 or 4 times. The only sport.
So in the last 30 years, they win in baseball 85 to 90% of the time. So
Yeah,
there's a 10 or 15% chance that you could win in a season.
Well, I mean that's kind of a broad statement because who knows what the Sharps were exploiting, because that was mostly early 90s. So you can't say that exactly, like to prorate it like that. But Big Rye is right. It's the lowest amount of juice. It's probably one of the harder markets to beat, I would imagine. But as far as like recreational betting, I highly recommend it. If you're going to choose a sport, that would be the one. Because the return on investment on baseball is the lowest of any of the sports as well. Like they often only make like 1%. Now parlays, on the other hand, they make upwards of 30 and 40% some years.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're betting in a parlay; you're gonna lose.
More or less, yeah. There are very rare instances, but generally speaking, just don't do it.
Aperva, it just depends how like obscure you want to get with the sport, because I'm sure the more obscure and least bet sports are going to have higher juice, and it's going to depend on the book. But off the top of my head, I want to say college basketball. And what that means is that the higher, I think college basketball is like minus 108 juice at Pinnacle. And what that just tells you is the higher the juice is, the more variance there is in results. So the higher, technically the baseball market is probably the market that the books are most sure about. So they're willing to offer that minus 104 price, at least at Pinnacle. But also there's just less opportunity for people like us to take advantage of those markets, because they have so much data that supports the research that they've done to set those lines. So the higher the juice is, the more advantageous those markets are. In fact, I would always talk about derivative markets being more advantageous. But like we can see like a player prop for some of these games get up to like minus 120 on both sides at Pinnacle. And another really good one the Fat Guy and I have been looking at is scores in the NHL, exact scores.
Yeah.
Because the juice is actually insane on those. It's like
it's 70.
Yeah, it's 170% juice, whereas in a spread market for like an NFL game, it'd be like 102%, 103%. So 170%. But Fat Guy and I are still testing that there might be opportunities in that market, and it's unreal because you would lose so much more money just not betting that. The juice on the line is the vig, the juice. It's the spread. It's the amount that you would have to pay to win or lose that bet. So for instance, at Pinnacle for an NFL game, the average juice is minus 105 on both sides. For instance, here, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but you can see here, beside this plus 3.5 here, it says minus 115. So the juice is minus 115.
You'd have to wager $115 to profit 100.
And juice is really, really important when betting, because like Fat Guy just said, you would have to be right. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, like 53.5% of the time at minus 115. And you've participated in the contest and see what the difference is between going 53% in a season and 51.2%, which would be the difference between minus 115 juice and minus 105 juice. Teaser and parlays are both bad, so you bundle them up and throw them out.
Here's a good example about juice. I would let anybody in the world I would accept a bet from if I got the closing spread at minus 130 on both sides. I would let anyone in the world bet with me, and I don't think they could beat it.
And a lot of the newer books, like the DraftKings and stuff, they do charge a higher juice, and they get a lot of people because they don't have other options, and also because of the marketing. So people just get caught up with the marketing of those books because they're marketed very well. Because if you had to ask, if I went to my local, if I just went across the street, I've got a bar across the street from me. If I went in there and I said, who knows what Pinnacle is? None of them are going to say yes. Maybe one. And then I could ask them, does anybody know FanDuel? And half of them would say yes. And then I could say, anyone know DraftKings? And they probably all say yes. That's just how, that's just how it works as far as being recognized and being, strangely enough, trusted because of how public they are and how many commercials they've had. So you'll notice, like, if you guys watch the betting market videos that Fat Guy and I do every day for the NHL and the NBA, there's a lot of talk about the juice, because sometimes the lines don't move, but the juice moves, and that can be a good indicator as to how the books feel about a certain market. Or even like I find with Pinnacle, even though they charge minus 105 juice on both sides, usually the sides that the Fat Guy and I tend to like, or like the less popular sides, they usually end up getting bet up to minus 110 anyways. So you're really not getting that much of an advantage. So you really do have to be careful and really follow along with where the juice is on a lot of these games, and when you can buy and when those prices are good.
This is a sluggish end. Bill's getting a bit of a break here, 2 plays in a row.
Buffalo still has one timeout, so the world is their oyster if they do choose to run the ball here. So this is an interesting decision, because usually it'd be an easy one to go for it on 4th down, but part of that decision is that you get to keep the other team pinned deep in their own territory. But with it being the end of the second half, it kind of takes some of that advantage away, and it looks like they're going to trot out the field goal unit. And they do get it, but with that missed extra point from earlier, they're still down 2 scores when this is a 9-point game, most likely going into half. Eric brings up a really good point here, that because the clock stopped and they still have their one timeout, they could have came up to the line with the offense and got them to try to jump offside, because that would have at least given them a new set of downs and the possibility to run 2, maybe 3 more plays with quick throws into the end zone. Because what's the difference between taking a 20-yard field goal and a 25-yard field goal? Not too much. And earlier we were praising Buffalo for being one of the more aggressive teams, and they definitely took a more conservative approach to end the half.
Importantly, though, they took the clock down where the Chiefs can't really do much with this time. Unless they get a return here. Gonna get a kneel here. We'll call the halftime victory formation. This team is so good.
They really are. I'm hoping that they can keep their core group together on both sides of the ball, but it's going to be hard. Some of these guys are going to be able to demand quite a bit of money on the Chiefs.
A lot of their young guys, though, are they're going to be able to replicate that in the draft, I would imagine.
Yeah, you hope so. It's really really hard to say Apurva, and the first reason is it depends on where they set the line, because they could set the line at Kansas City -14 and then everybody's going to be on Tampa, or they could set the line at Tampa -3 and they could get everybody to bet on Kansas City. So a lot of it has to do with they're going to be able to set the line where they want it to be to encourage bets on either side. So that's the first interesting part of this. And then
I need the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. It has to do with how well does Kansas City do in this game. Like, what if Kansas City wins by 30? Like, what if they just blow out the second half and they win by 30? I have a feeling that that's going to encourage the books to set the Kansas City price just slightly higher, because there are going to be a lot of public bettors who look at that as a holy smokes, like Kansas City is going to destroy Tampa in the Super Bowl. So Tampa Bay, like, they did win earlier, but like that end of that game they kind of limped in. Like, it wasn't like a convincing dominating win. They kind of like limped in as an underdog. Got the underdog win. So it'll be interesting to see like how Kansas City finishes this game. Buffalo could easily come back too, and then there might be a lot of hype on Buffalo because they do come back and win. What's the running joke for Fat Guy while he's away? Well, let me think. What could we do? What can we do to the Fat Guy to really mess with him? I think everybody in chat who's here right now, we're going to play a joke on the Fat Guy. Everybody talk about how roulette is one of the best games to play in the casino, and how you guys have only won money on roulette because Fat Guy hates roulette, and because the math is just terrible on roulette, especially in North America. So if you guys hype up roulette and talk about it like it's really something, when he comes back, he might blow his gasket on. He'll get a good speech from him on roulette. Eric has the line at Kansas City -4.5 if they play Tampa. Yeah, Purva's on the right path here. This is perfect. Really ham it up. He's gonna be all over that. This is terrific. I'm definitely going to highlight these right when he comes back. I'm going to be like, oh, Purva said, I don't understand why people do sports gambling. Really hammer home, too, how it's better to take 0 or double zeros, because that's really going to send him over the top. Because there is a case to be made that roulette's actually one of the best games to play if it's just the 1-0. I forget the exact which one it is. How could you lose in roulette? You have so many options. This is terrific. And roulette is better than baklava, that's for sure. That's factually proven. Just bet on 0 and double zero. It's because we don't have casinos around us. 0 over double zero is the way. Oh, this is so good. All right, here we go. This is going to be a fun halftime. Yeah, Perver, I'm totally with you on that. I don't understand why people sports gamble, because the best way to make money is to play roulette in the casino. Untouchables, right? You always bet on black. Roulette lovers do believe that's my wife's first husband. I swear by it. Oh, Mickey says roulette is better than baklava. Jeez Louise.
Yikes.
Perva, just bet on 0 and double zero.
That's not how it works.
How could you lose in roulette? You have so many options. That's a good point, too.
Who said that?
Eric mentioned that. The casino guys are trained to hit 0 and double zero, so just keep betting on those, says Apurva.
They aren't.
They give you the odds right there. How could you beat the honest odds system roulette has? Roulette, spinning the wheels, got to go round. There's no minus 120 on roulette squares. They give you the odds as is. You bet on a 50-50 and it pays you 50-50. Not like sports gambling where you get minus 120. Bet black, you double your money when you hit.
Yeah, but what if it lands on green? European roulette has a far lower hold than American roulette. European roulette only has a single 0. So it takes a 1/37th commission, whereas American roulette takes 2/38 or 1/19. So basically, every $19 you bet, you give $1 to the casino. So it's not just red and black; it's red, black, and green. I know all about roulette. This is one thing I know a little bit about. So I had a friend, because wheels can become inconsistent. So I had a friend who was a tradesman. Yeah, you can bet on odd and even, but it doesn't. You still lose in the 0. Yeah, but a perva, then people would just load up on zeros. So I had a friend do this. He took pictures of the because they show on a display all the past results. So the past 20 spins. So he took 3 pictures a day for over a year on the same roulette wheel. Then I inputted all of those into a data sheet, and there was no advantage on any number. So the number that came up the most, I believe, was 24. Like oddly enough, but that was just probably a statistical aberration, and there was no value on any number. So I mean, if you think that this works, just take all your money and fire it out of the casino. Best of luck to you. But I can just tell you right now, it doesn't. But maybe I'm wrong. Always bet on black. That's passenger 57. Well, if it was that easy, you'd be rich, right? It just doesn't make sense. I'm just not buying that one. So passenger 57, always bet on black. Wesley Snipes. I'll make you a millionaire. If it involves betting roulette, I'm dubious at that. Burger King is really pushing hard on this chicken sandwich here. What happened? Like, why is the chicken sandwich market so popping off so much lately? That's what I want to know.
That is a good question. I have seen a lot more chicken sandwich push.
Eric, I don't play roulette because it's negative expected value. That's simple as that. Pass line bet is a craps bet. Roulette, you just bet odd, evens, thirds. All of it has extremely high holds. Neither is good.
What's going on, Jameson?
I don't think it's racist. It's two colors on a roulette wheel. Still going? I don't know. I need a Tyreek Hill TD for 280. Yeah, good luck to you. If it's an anytime touchdown, you have a reasonable shot.
Everybody's just messing with you with the roulette stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's an easy way to get me. Am I good at it? Yeah. Who? That's such a good. Oh man, I heard someone at the bar the other day say that this guy that plays Keno a lot is good at Keno, and that was one of my favorite things I've ever heard. I just had some pot stickers, Mickey. I'm gonna be lazy today. There were frozen pizzas for $3, my favorite kind at Walmart. So I loaded my deep freeze with them. I'm probably gonna be lazy and have one of those. So I might go and buy some chicken thighs though tomorrow.
I've got shepherd's pie on the docket tonight.
I would like that, Jay. Buffalo chicken pizza. Chicken shouldn't really be on pizza, but I still like it.
I'm a fan of that chicken pineapple.
That's the beauty of the betting market, Eric, is you get to put all of your thoughts and ideas into the market, and you get to put skin in the game, as they say. It's a shiny jacket from Tracy Wolfson.
I like it because it distracts me from her face. All right, so Chiefs start with the ball on their own 25.
Holy! Is there a guy faster than that? Quicker than that? I can't believe he made that corner look silly. Unbelievable. And that's Tre'Davious White, right? Like, how are you that much quicker? I can't believe that. That is unbelievable.
It looked like he stepped out, but I doubt they bring this one back. Oh, it was challenged. Heads up challenge by the Buffalo Bills coaching staff. Because live, it didn't look like he stepped out of bounds.
No, it didn't. He's so fast.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Like Hill's talent as far as like his speed and how he's able to make guys miss like that is pretty spectacular. But really what's underrated about him is his hands and how good he is at catching the ball. Like it's very, very rare that he doesn't come down with the ball if he's targeted, which is very impressive. That's always what I liked about Brandon Cooks, especially coming out of college, is he was good at making those contested catches. And then you see guys like Amari Cooper, and it's like the guy never had to make a catch with a guy within 5 yards of him. So like you always just worry about those kind of guys, but Tyreek Hill.
He's a running back in college, really. It doesn't matter where you use him. He's. How are you that quick? Like that quick? And the thing is the part that just jumped off for me. We were kind of talking about it earlier about professional athletes and the gap between the average guy. Look how helpless Tre'Davious White was. Can you imagine one of us out there? You couldn't do anything. It's just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Wow, is that quick? I don't know, Aperva. It's pretty tough. There's still a game to go, and I think it's unlikely. You're behind a considerable amount of points too from Mickey. You're 42.33 points behind Mickey. Or sorry, 47 rather. What do I do my math here wrong? 46, yeah. So it's unlikely. I've got 13 on you as well. You have your quarterback playing though, so you should pass me in theory, and Hill as well.
Watching Peyton Manning scramble is more like what it would be like watching an average guy scramble.
Yeah.
Even Big Ben's got some pretty slick scrambling ability, or at least a lot tougher than most people.
Well, here's a good example. Like Kerry Collins was a statue in the NFL. And I know some guys that are a part of his golf club, and they said he's like crazy good at everything. And he was a notoriously unathletic quarterback. They say he's the best golfer in the country club as well. Heads up coaching call.
Yeah, Joe Namath could, but he could sure give an interview.
I'm surprised Hill didn't run around the other way.
He thought about it for a second, but it was probably wouldn't have worked out for him.
Peyton Manning was the least athletic quarterback I've seen. Tom Brady is a unathletic quarterback, and he's in the Super Bowl waiting for one of these two teams. So brain can be better than brawn, Bernie Kosar. Pringle doesn't know where the first down marker is. That's twice.
In recent memory, you got to think Peyton Manning. You got to think Tom Brady. Maybe Chad Pennington. I don't know what kind of an athlete Chad Pennington was, though.
That's about right. That was the only one I didn't touch on, Chad Pennington. I liked Chad Pennington.
Especially, like, at the end of his career, Peyton Manning. Like, that was...
Oh, my goodness.
Like, you're talking about essentially just a brain in a limp body. Peyton Manning's more mobile in those Tide commercials with that little gizmo he has than he actually is in real life.
Yeah. That might be a face mask here against Buffalo, giving Kansas City a first down potentially. Well, that's the thing, Eric, is it, like I said, it's a theory, so you have to oh wow, they picked the flag up. Is you need data. You need to back test that data and then live test it and then see if there is any fruit in your hypotheses.
And it would have nothing to do with just a heavy favorite because the price could be way different. Like, what's the price of each one of those plays? That's really what it comes down to. Someone brought up a good tweet in the Discord yesterday, and they talked about when did underdog equal value, because it's not always underdogs that are the value play. It just tends to be more often because public tends to like favorites. They tend to like overs, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be just underdogs and just unders that have value on them.
Looked like one of the Chiefs linemen was really hurt there. They cut to commercial quick there, so I didn't get a good look at it.
It was Wiley, who I believe is one of the guards.
Yes.
I will be back in a few minutes.
Well, he could at least tell if it's a... He should at least have had the courtesy of telling us whether it was a 1 or a 2.
It's a 2.
There you go. I bet you he's lying. I bet you it's a combo. Something to trigger Big Rye? Jeez. I know what it is, but I don't want to say it. The roulette stuff worked on me, obviously. Even when I knew it was a troll, I still couldn't do it. What would be a good one? Everything depends on price, Eric. You can't it just, what is the price? Is there more expected value in doing that or less? Do you know what I mean? Is there expected value in doing that? Probably not, right? Oh, no, talk about Talk about trade rumors, Mickey. Talk about let's do that. He hates rumors that are unconfirmed. So talk about potential landing spots of quarterbacks. He hates stuff like that. I've deleted my first post. It's so funny. I think rumors. I don't think rumors are interesting necessarily, but yeah. Watson, New York. He just doesn't believe anything until it actually happens. So even when there's smoke, it's not fire to him. So yeah. Watson in New York. That's going to be a fun one. Or potentially the Dolphins. I wish I had a beat on his camera so I could start talking right when he comes in. Yes, very good. Keep that up, guys. Oh, someone write something about Tua going to Houston. I can't believe how quick this guy is. He could have got that first down though. Very good. Yes. That is a gold star, that last one. These are very good. It's unfortunate that Hill didn't get that first down. He really could have, because now it's 3rd and 2 when it didn't have to be. Yeah, absolutely. This is good stuff. Oh, he got killed. Jordan Poyer with quite the hit. Good job on Edwards-Helaire to keep the ball there. Perfect. And it's good. This is perfect. These are all very good. Dude, was he doing a Hall of Famer in there? How long is this guy taking? Yeah, I think he's got a good one brewing there, Mickey. Yeah, he got the tweezers out and the lubrication. Off he goes. I have seen more truck commercials this playoffs than I can remember. And I'll give him this though. Like that's like I'm the demographic. Fat guy, who you picked to win AFC? Well, I mean, it's highly likely the Chiefs. They're up 12 points, right? So, I mean, next year, that's an interesting one, huh? As far as next year goes, I'd take a fun one. I'd take the Dolphins. Andre Roberts is still in the league. That's crazy. Diggs only has 12 yards. That's impressive. He's had a really, really good season. Good job for Beasley just to hit the deck. Cole Beasley looks like a strong candidate to be a hillbilly. Whatever it is, it wouldn't be enough, Eric. Oh, nice reverse. He didn't get very much there, though. Nice tackle by 38.
A first down's all they need, and that's what he picks up. Isaiah McKenzie on the reach around.
We were just talking NFL rumors, Big Rye.
Yeah.
What do you think of Tua potentially playing in Houston?
I think that would be tremendous. I think he'd have a ton of success under new head. Do they even have a head coach announced yet for Houston?
I don't believe so. Do you think Watson is really unhappy? Do you think he perhaps goes to the Jets? Or Miami even?
I think it's a lot of talk until he actually goes somewhere. There's not a lot to talk about.
Well, there's smoke, there's fire, Big Rye.
Oh yeah, I get it. We're trolling.
Yeah. They did a good job though. Look at the comments.
Okay, I'll read it all.
It's pretty good. I told him you hate rumors.
Dak to Indy. So what is the conclusion? Yeah. Who will Jacksonville trade their number 1 overall to? Deshaun to the Jets. Dak to Indy. Jimmy G to Dallas. Prescott to Houston. Watson to Jets? ?
It's pretty good.
This is you guys are writing all the stuff that they have for all of these. Also, maybe the worst defensive play of the day with I think that was Breland, number 21. I'm not sure who it was.
Up.
I just like
that
how,
looks like a hold.
I just like how, like, ESPN just gets to go on all day and talk about how, who's gonna go where. Like they know, like nobody knows. And then there's a bunch of chatty Cathys in every single organization spreading all this stuff. Like, get out of here. If you were running an organization and then half this stuff was getting leaked, like, what would you do?
I honestly, I'd be pulling out stuff. I'd be purposely saying stuff to see who leaked what, and I'd fire them. That's just it.
Because it's like these are, if it is true, or like these sources are putting stuff out there, like you're putting your entire organization at a competitive disadvantage. That's why it makes no sense.
I like how guys like want to be traded, but then they just hurt their own value by saying that. Like, it's so interesting.
Well, okay, yeah. I saw this too. Now you guys actually do have me going. I saw this. They talked about they always talk about how every player has like a list of teams that they're going to get traded to.
Yeah.
Like that. Why would the organization only trade you to a couple teams that are probably going to give you a lot worse deal than wherever you could? Like, that makes no sense. That'd be like if I just said, oh, I'm going to sell my car, and then fat guy was like, yeah, but you can only sell it to these 3 people.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they're saying.
Are you selling your car?
Yeah, exactly. See, this is how the rumors get started.
I was asking for a friend. Wow.
Cole Beasley looks like an 80s wrestler. Cavs are getting pummeled right now. That's not good for me. I like what Eric said. Just imagine what Kansas City could get for Mahomes.
Yeah. Oh! It's on Snead, I think. Man, he has just gotten out of danger so many times. They didn't give up. They're paying him his salary. He's a player. He's earning it, too. I think he's worth it.
What I don't fully understand how revenue sharing works in the NFL, because I know that I know that there is some sort of revenue sharing. And I know
Good job.
Jerry Jones wasn't part of that, but that might just be for just like apparel for the Cowboys. Because I always wonder how that works.
Man, that is one girly mustache for a man.
It just reminds you how young Josh Allen actually is.
Yeah, actually does. They have a lot of corner blitzes from the Chiefs.
I'm so conditioned to watch Buffalo throw the ball that I wonder what they're doing when they do have a run thrown in. It's nuts. It's nuts. I really can't stand that players get thrown under the bus for having bad playoff records, because like it's just such a small sample. Like guys,
Yeah.
like there's someone's not going to win every single year other than Tom Brady apparently. Oh, Chris Jones just got through right away on this.
That was
really
awesome.
Blew that play up. Bills have a decision to make here.
Carson Wentz's mustache looks like taint. They're kicking a field goal?
See, this is interesting, and like before when I talked about the OU for this game and that they couldn't set it high enough, my assumption is that Buffalo was not going to make decisions like this, being inside the 10 and kicking field goals. But that's what they've done, and it just shows you how the thinking that goes into a lot of these bets can't be actually used as indicators which side the bet is going to be good on. The thing is, Apurva, with like almost any other position, I would totally agree with you, but Mahomes is just so important to that team. Like he's one of the best players in the league. I know LeBron always made the argument that the NBA shouldn't have like a player cap for how much they can get paid, because like he actually brings in more to the team, more so than just the like wins. Yeah. Like, but just the overall value of the franchise increases so much with having LeBron on your team, and it's something that like you can't pay enough money to have that guy on your team, as far as salary caps go. Yeah, we did some key number research, and 54 was the highest key number as far as OUs. So everything else was lower than 54. So with this total, with the OU for this game being at 54.5 or 55, it really, like, logic says that you take the under, because that's where all the key numbers are. Like if you had to compare it to spreads, it'd be like taking a spread at 14.5. That's essentially what 54.5 is the equivalent to, as far as key numbers are concerned.
And they're dragging out these commercials big time. I think the game's going too quick.
Yeah, they got to make their money.
They got to. $55 Super Bowls. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they got.
How many years has Stanley Cup been going? Yeah, Grey Cup's the most. How many Stanley Cups is it? 105? Sure. Grey Cup's like 120.
Uh, 1914 until 2020, so it's at
106. I was close. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Ooh, that's a bold prediction, Mickey.
There's been a lot of talk about NBA players starting their own league, and to be fair, they probably have the easiest path to
oh my goodness. This guy is incredible.
That was quite the tackle by I think it was Jordan Poyer.
Yeah, it was
at the end.
I think Hill's just exhausted, to be honest. How is he this quick? He went across the field, like zigzag.
Oh
Wow.
wow, that cutback was stuff you don't see very often. It's always like you see it like when you're watching it as a fan. You're like, why doesn't a guy just cut back here? And
Yeah.
Tyreek actually makes it possible.
I phoned him up and made sure that he didn't do it, Apurva, to spite you.
I really need my Darrell Williams fantasy points.
Yeah.
I still like that. That's the best picture they could get of Tyreek Hill. Yeah, we would. Eric, when they were showing the replay of him um, stepping out of bounds, like he was going full speed and he essentially turned his leg at a 90-degree angle to make his cut. And I was just looking at it like, any of us, our legs would have snapped on that play.
What's this flag? I'm waiting intently. Yeah, there we go.
Was it a hold?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's first and goal at like the 1.5 yard line. This is looking like a Kelsey toss up the middle.
Nice call, Big Rye. KC next dynasty? They kind of are already. What is a dynasty though? What's the criteria of that, right? Because realistically, the only dynasty in sports would be what the Montreal Canadiens over their, like over the entire history of a franchise.
I'd give Patriots dynasty.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's not quite the same.
Any team that can dominate year after year in a cap filled league is going to be considered a dynasty.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but like the Patriots weren't good, in the '90s, really. Well, I mean, they did go to a Super Bowl actually, but I'm saying without Brady, they weren't like an an impressive franchise necessarily. Whereas Montreal won so many Stanley Cups. What was the last one? 91? Who scored the last touchdown? Travis Kelce. Who's got Kelce in the league? I don't actually know.
I think Mark might have had him.
You can look right now. Yeah, Mark does. Pete Carroll's gum. Yeah, Kelce went early, and that makes sense. I didn't feel that way in Perva. I didn't mind your team, and I honestly I felt I drafted the best. But then there's a bunch of other ones that I'm not satisfied with. I should have taken Suck Up over Lutz because I was pretty much all in on Bucks anyways. So it doesn't make sense to have diversify with a Will Lutz pick. So I think that's an error I made. And I could have taken Mike Evans, but the health thing scared me, and it ends up Sammy Watkins has an extra week off, and he somehow doesn't play. I thought that was going to be intercepted. Huh. Stephon Diggs with just 12 yards on the day. Tough sledding.
Theoretically, it shouldn't be that hard to take like one guy like that out of a game. The thing is, though, is it should open up major opportunities for other players to step up and make plays.
Absolutely. Cole Beasley's had a reasonable game today.
Is John Brown playing? I don't know.
I don't remember seeing
Brown.
him. That's the thing. I was just going to ask that.
Even Gabriel Davis, I don't remember seeing him either today. We'll see who's lined up at wideout. John Brown is there. John Brown's down at the bottom. Dawson, Knox, Diggs, and Beasley right now. Well, there's Diggs matched up on a linebacker, and he makes the reception.
I don't know yet, Eric. I don't have an answer.
Usually live stuff at Perva we stay away from just because you're betting with your heart and not your head.
Diggs getting the first down here. This is good from the Chiefs defense. They're not giving them much downfield, so they're forced to go underneath, which I can understand.
It's very, very, very unlikely that we're going to be live for the Super Bowl just because of other engagements. Usually the Super Bowl is kind of transcends us being on here. So this most likely will be our last live stream for the NFL season. But Fat Guy and I are going to explore live streaming the NBA or NHL or both. Lucky bounce there and a reception for Cole Beasley. He's
got such hillbilly hair. Him and George Kittle.
Well, the closer that the Bills get to the end zone, the more likely they are to put up points. So it's really just math at work on those things. That's why there's not usually a ton of value, and usually the live lines have much higher juice.
Surprised Clark didn't get a flag there. I like Charles Barkley. I think he's very funny. Third and 14 here. This is where I always say this is where it separates good defenses and bad. Can you get off the field here? Don't give up 12 yards either, so they can go for it on fourth. And this is what I mean, right? Like they just gave up 13, and now it's 4th and 1, which is very manageable. I have a personal question for you, Big Rye.
Mm-hmm.
How much money would it take for you to get a big tattoo?
Uh, there isn't an amount that I would take.
I knew it. I was hoping that would be your answer. I mean, who doesn't want like a big eagle on their arm?
It'd be funny.
Live stream that. Oh, there's no way you could get him to do that. There's just, there. I can't even think of what you'd have to offer.
There's just not. The problem with someone like me who doesn't really want anything is that, like, getting a bunch of money for something is not gonna like encourage me to do anything. I would get it for the joke, and I don't think it would be funny for long. So.
Well, speaking of joke tattoos,
never mind. What should I get as a tattoo?
I lost a high card, and I got a guy's name tattooed on me for 10 years. Big Rye can attest to that. I've covered it up now; it's on my thigh. But I had a friend's name tattooed on me for 10 years.
And to really put color on this picture, it also is the exact same person who does the UFC stuff for us. So it really,
our UFC
really brings it home.
handicapper. Yeah.
I think I'd like, as long I obviously wouldn't want the pain of losing a ball, but if I just had to, if I woke up with one less ball, I could care less. Doesn't matter. Honestly, I think I would actually be way happier if I just got castrated.
What?
I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a big deal.
It wouldn't be a big deal for you to be a eunuch?
Like, I wouldn't choose it, but like, I don't know.
You'd take it better than most? Is that what you're saying?
I just don't think it's a big deal. Like, who cares? You lost a couple balls. Not a big deal. Keep going.
All right. I didn't know you were that much of an optimist.
I'd obviously do. I would save some up, right? Like, I'd at least get to save some up. I still want to procreate.
Oh, okay.
But once that's done, I don't care. What else you need balls for?
You want the windsock, though.
I want a windsock?
Never mind. That was a great play. I like that a lot. But this is one of those things that's just so annoying. They had him at 3rd and 14. Why did you have to lay off the gas a little bit? Because what's the difference if you give it up on 3rd and 14 to giving it up now, when they could have got off the field if they were able to get some pressure? So just disappointing for me, at least.
Apurva, I do have a beard.
Yikes. Both Breland and Diggs kind of misread that a little bit.
I noticed it in the Bucks game, is that what I did like from Brady is that he really did give his receivers opportunities to make plays. Like, he didn't even care if guys were covered. But that's kind of the benefit of having guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans to throw to. And it looks like the Bills Josh Allen are doing the same thing with Stephon Diggs. Because if he's not going to win those matchups, they're probably not winning this game.
Yes, Superva, that's what he was getting at. Oh. Do you see how apprehensive the defense was from tackling him?
because it's the rules make it impossible.
Yeah.
Like, do you hit him and take a 15-yard penalty, or do you let him get an extra 5 yards?
It's yeah.
That's the option it seems like you have as a defender. I know I'd be going for the kill shot every time if I was a defender.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you never want a guy to get seriously hurt, but if you can take a guy out of a game, it's especially a guy like Josh Allen, it's going to help
at
your
least
win chances.
De-incentivize him from running. No flag? No flag.
Yeah, it's still a 2-possession game. They're only down 16. So technically 2 possessions can get this done for them. That ball hits. Dawson knocks in the hands, but he can't come down with it.
Intercepted. Wow. Wow. Owen Wilson, wow. Big turnover. Big turnover.
That is big because that really does hurt their chances. Because Kansas City could, they could make this a 6-7 minute drive if they do this right, and it would really kill.
I don't think there's enough ground, Big Rye, but they could kill 3 minutes and kick a field goal.
Yeah, it just depends how quickly they get down the field, or how successful they are at picking up, third and whatever's. Don's saying game over.
They should put Chad Henne in the game now.
Let Mahomes rest. Rest for what? He's going to have like 5-6 months to rest. Oh, never mind. I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, rest for the Super Bowl.
It's gonna call you out on there. I don't know if that I wouldn't be doing that. They just do low risk plays with him, and he'll throw it away a little bit more, like with more urgency because he needs to avoid contact here.
The game's definitely not done. If they put up a field goal or better on this drive, then it's pretty much done. Then I'd be bringing in Henne and just keeping the ball on the ground and punting.
I don't think you can put Henne in. If you go up 21, maybe, but or sorry, 23.
If you were a head coach going into next year, would you create, how would you approach going for 1 versus going for 2?
How would I approach it?
Yeah, like as a season-long strategy entering the season.
Well, I would hire data scientists, and I would try and figure out when would be the best EV time to go for 2 or for 1 point. That's what I would be doing. I would spend more money on R&D if I owned a team than anybody. I can do that. Well, please do then. That would be of great value to know when to go for it on 4th and when not to. Or sorry, when to go for 2 and when not to.
I was watching. I watched highlights last night of, I think it was the 2011 NFC Championship game between the Giants and the San Francisco 49ers when it was Alex Smith versus Eli Manning.
Eli Manning, yeah.
And looking back, like I know I was watching highlights, but like Eli Manning actually looked really, really good in that game on the highlights. Like I feel like
Yeah.
he got really, I think he just got compared so much to his brother and some of the other really, really good quarterbacks, but like Eli really balled out in some of those playoff games.
Oh, he made the best pass completion in the history of the NFL. That play against the Patriots, the then undefeated Patriots. That's the best. That's the best play in NFL history. David Tyree catch on the helmet, never to be heard from again. He was just an average quarterback near the end in Perva. Father Time catches up to everybody.
I think that's why watching that old footage, you have that picture of that older, less mobile Eli, but like the way he slid around in the pocket and the throws he was making, like it was fun to watch. And like the players, I don't know why it just seems so players seem so much just bigger from those highlights, and the game felt a lot more physical than it does today. Today is very like pass heavy. And that's only 9 years ago. Like we're not talking, or 10 years, I guess technically now.
Tampa has one of the most physical defenses, and they're in the final, so they're in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, maybe there's hope for it yet because I don't want it to lose the physicality. It would make it personally hard for me to watch if they take any more of it out.
They the aggressive downhill style from Tampa Bay, especially at the defensive back position, it was spectacular today. And it really makes me just watch all these other teams play and wonder, even like Breland, like it's Cole Beasley and the guy was backpedaling.
Yeah.
Offensive or defensive lineman, Don? And linemen can last, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years, depending on the quality of the player.
Yeah, on average, I would probably say 5 years is about right, Don.
5 years for a starter, I'm guessing, because the average for any player is like less than a season.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys who don't play at all, so. Ooh.
My Super Bowl boxes? What do you mean, squares? I don't know. I generally don't like doing that, but if it's with a group of friends for fun, then I will do it. So that's down the road though. Eric Fisher held to the sideline. That's bad news for the Chiefs. Former first overall pick. They have Mahomes running it. Stay in bounds, Mahomes. And don't get hurt.
Did Fisher come out of the game?
Yeah.
That was a point of emphasis in Tampa Bay's success, was getting to play against a backup left tackle. Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett shined, especially in the first half for Tampa Bay. So if Kansas City had the same problem, even though, like, I believe that was Mike Remmers who stepped in to Eric Fisher, isn't like a huge gap compared to what Bakhtiari is to doesn't matter who's playing for the Packers.
Yeah.
But it's still something of note.
They needed that tough yard.
And they got it. And to be fair for the Chiefs early on, like even I'm talking like the Alex Smith Chiefs in the playoffs, that's where they would struggle, is on plays like that. Like in those short yardage plays, in those tough plays, like the Kansas City Chiefs just got dominated at the start of Andy Reid's tenure in Kansas City, something that would always drive Fat and I a little bit wild because they were kind of soft. But this team is really strengthened up and really toughened up over the years. Another bobble by Hardman. I didn't see if that ball got tipped on the way to him.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. Why are they even doing this, though? Oh, it did get tipped. Then they're going empty here. Why aren't they like... whatever. Nice run. Nice run. He's doing a good job, Mahomes, of like calling a game. Like, I don't know how many of these are audibles, but this is pretty impressive.
It's just between Andy Reid, Bieniemy, and Mahomes, it's just such a strong group of leadership and
so strong. Best team in the league
to get it done.
They're going empty. Oh, he's coming back.
It's a good way to see if they're in man or zone.
I smell
This camera angle is unreal.
Yikes. Close.
See, that's interesting, though, because with that movement in the backfield for Darrell Williams, Mahomes gets to see that they're in zone. And then with that side of the field opening up and Tre'Davious White is the only guy over there, when he runs a touchdown, Kelsey, when he runs to that right-hand side, it pulls Tre'Davious White out of his zone, and then you have Tyreek Hill at the back of the end zone, and then one of the guys in the other zone has to run full speed with Tyreek Hill across the end zone. So it's like, it's just unfair being able to read that and know that before the snap. That's why it's kind of silly that more teams don't use like motion pre-snap to get a better idea of that kind of stuff. Just absolutely dog shit coverage from Poyer on Kelsey. But this game is practically done. It's going to be really hard for the Bills to get 3 more possessions to even have the opportunity to get back. Never mind score the touchdowns.
Yeah,
and the 2-point conversions. It's just, there's a lot stacked up against them at this point. But Kelsey's going to have 2. He's probably going to finish this game with 2 touchdowns, which is pretty good.
Oh, it's unreal.
And I know some people have commented on Mahomes. I thought he's actually looked quite fine today. I don't think he looked too bothered. And he's going to get 2 more weeks to rest up. So I guess the biggest thing for Mahomes is that he doesn't aggravate his injury while he's practicing these 2 weeks approaching the Super Bowl.
Boom.
What are Super Bowl?
Wow.
What are Super Bowl featured videos that you guys would be interested in seeing? Like, would you guys be interested in seeing like prop bets? Like what's kind of stuff that you guys are interested in for Super Bowl? Oh, Eric already answered that before I even saw. So both Eric and Apurva asked for prop bets. So Fat Guy, maybe we'll do a prop bet video.
Yeah, we could perhaps do that.
Just report
release
on
it.
What we see. The only thing I'm not sure of is what sites to use to look up different props and when to release it. Like, I don't know if props are going to be out tomorrow. I guess that's what I'm kind of leaning at. But I think, thinking in my head, the quicker that we could get a prop bet video out, the better as far as viewership is concerned.
$105.
Next Monday, so wait a week. YouTube gave you a guideline warning for mentioning blank bets. Yeah, I get you. We'll probably end up doing the pick video tomorrow for the Super Bowl pick, and then we'd probably do a prop video next week. There's not going to be a Pro Bowl game. Not that the Pro Bowl is a great game to bet. Cole Beasley looks like he's hurt his ankle on that play.
The Pro Bowl pick video. That's so funny. What was the last Pro Bowl? Like 23-20 or something?
I know there was one that was really low scoring.
So weird. And what was it? Remember the Pro Bowl? I think it was Sean Taylor who like crushed a punter. I always thought that was unnecessary, but it was. It I did like it when I saw it. I just thought it was completely unnecessary.
4 years ago, the score was 2013.
That's so weird. That's it's so weird.
All these Pro Bowl scores are lower than actual average NFL scores. In 2012, the score of the Pro Bowl was 62-35. The MVP for that game was Kyle Rudolph somehow.
Yeah, he got like 4 touchdowns.
And that was the year, I guess, they decided, like, this is BS. And that's when they started making it, like, themed coaches, like Rice versus Sanders, Irving Carter, Irving Rice. And then they went back to AFC, NFC in 2016. And it's been pretty low-scoring games. The last one was 38-33 in 2019, and then we're not going to get one this year, which makes sense.
How did he even get the ball that far downfield?
There was a score of 59-41 in 2011.
100 points.
Think about how well Derek Brooks had to play in a Pro Bowl game to be named MVP.
Yeah, like a linebacker.
Here you go. 1986. The game was 10-6.
That's my type of game.
1968. 10-7.
Man, he has slipped out of so many of these. This Chiefs D has been hunting him down.
But this is a Madden offense where the quarterback just runs back 15 yards.
Yeah.
And avoids pressure. And roughing the passer on top of making that play. I'm really sorry, Eric, but it's going to be hard pressed for no more points to be put up in this game. It still could happen, though. I've never even heard of Wharton.
Who?
Wharton. It's the guy who made the hit on that play.
Oh.
That penalty and that reception was a huge gain for the Bills.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were already going to be this close to scoring position.
Oh, Achilles. I hope Eric Fisher's there. They're going to be around for the Super Bowl. They were doubling Diggs hard.
And that was fine because it opened up Isaiah McKenzie for one-on-one with the linebacker in the middle of the field. Yeah,
all right,
Eric.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Mickey was also on the under.
Go back. Go the other way. I always like seeing 2-pointers. You know what I mean? Like that only happened once, I think. Oh, is it Diggs acting out again? All right.
Isaiah McKenzie with the heads up play there.
This team is good. This team is good.
Fat Guy, I think I heard you mention earlier that people had taken plays with you on the Buffalo Bills futures for Super Bowl.
Yes,
so this
futures and in this game.
So this is a good result.
This is a good result. Yeah,
that's terrific.
Yeah, I lost money earlier, but with the juice on this game, I'm now ahead. So, or sorry, with the juice, I'm ahead. Not much, but we'll take it. And the futures are looks like they're done. Oh, maybe not. Recovered by the Bills.
Wow. The chippiness we saw at the early part of the game is coming back at the end of this game, which is kind of to be expected.
That was a good onside kick. We haven't seen one of those in a long time.
If that was the only time you've ever seen an onside kick, you would expect for the offense or like the kicking team to recover every single one. Like that couldn't have gone any better for them as far as how the kick bounced, the coverage on that, like the hit that was made.
Yeah, that was very strong.
First successful onside kick since the 2014 NFC Championship game. When did the Saints pull that off in the Super Bowl? Or was it the Super Bowl? Or was it the championship game where they pulled it off? Or am I imagining things that didn't happen?
I'm trying to drawing a blank here, Big Rye.
I remember Sean Payton came back at the start of the second half and had an onside kick. Mickey says it's the Super Bowl in Miami.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, I remember that call. Started second half. Yeah, surprise one. I don't know why it didn't compute for some reason. Sometimes it happens. Unreal catch.
What is it, Aperva, if you don't mind me asking?
Kansas City -3. Yeah, that's pretty close to what I had. Well, that's what the line was. The line was Kansas City -3 in Tampa Bay in the regular season when they won by 3.
I don't know what you think, Fat Guy, but I have a feeling that people are going to be heavily betting the Chiefs as 3
I think it's going to be
favorites.
just changed to 3.5. Well, there you go. That answers your question, Big Rye. How come they can't get him down? Oh, we're close to popping off here.
I was wondering why there was a guy running in from the sidelines on the Chiefs side, but I think it was an alternate official.
Oh
Josh
man,
Allen did throw the ball
yeah.
at Okafor. It was so
I don't know
subtle
what's
I
gonna
didn't notice it live.
Well, it's because they didn't want to like. They had it was over. They had him dead. Like rather than have him slam to the ground, sometimes they'll just whistle a play dead. He was wrapped up. Well, they're calling that a sack. That's what the whistle is. The whistle is whistling it dead. He's sacked. That's some good leadership from Mahomes, quieting his team down because they got bigger fish to fry. They're on to the Super Bowl. Best to not jeopardize anybody. There's going to be a bunch of ejections coming out here. Tampa would have been -1 versus the Bills. Interesting. I thought the Bills would have been -1.
And really, the difference between those two is so minimal. Like, it's essentially
Yeah.
the same line.
But I mean, it's still. Dawkins is going to get ejected, I would imagine. Line's back to -3 KC. Yeah, because I would have said there's value on the Bucks at +3.5.
That was a pretty big cheap shot by Dawkins, and like he was gonna go in for the punch if he didn't get if the ref didn't step in between, because he started cocking back. So I think
-124 on the Chiefs. Yeah, that's not really a move then. Between
so they're probably
three-
just switching it back and forth between 3.5, with -124 juice being on whichever is the more favorable side, which is Kansas City at 3 and Tampa Bay at +3.5.
Let's go. Let's get this game over with. Post-game fight. It's looking that way, Mickey. The Chiefs got to be careful, like I had mentioned, though. Like Chris Jones has kind of been in the middle of all of this stuff too.
The NFL's actually been pretty clear of stuff like this happening this year. Like the last thing I can remember was the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph incident.
Yikes. So all that is nothing.
But it all happened after the play, so
Yeah, it's
did
gonna be
anybody get thrown out?
No. I can't believe Dawkins didn't get ejected.
If Kansas City gets the ball back, which is most likely going to happen, does Mahomes see the field?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. They still have 3 timeouts. Tyler Bass having a good day. That looks good. No. Yes. I was confused at that trajectory.
He was a couple big rides away from missing that one.
What are they doing? Let's get on with this. Chris Jones got away with that punch to the head.
Yeah, that's I could definitely see him getting fined after the game.
Yeah. I got to be honest, Tyler Bass might be the best onside kicker I've seen. That was a good attempt too.
I don't know. Young Wei Koo was pretty spectacular when they had that 3 in a row.
Yeah, I agree. But
These are good. These are both.
These
excellent.
are good. These are quality. You know, we just don't see them that often, Big Rye.
And Kemp made a great play, making that catch because that ball popped up right to his face mask.
Kem proving that he does believe in love.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, that was tailored for you.
That joke was only for me. I don't think there's a lot of Kemp fans in chat.
Wait, what? He's not popular? Kem can remove women's underwear with his brain. Doesn't have to touch it. It'll come right off.
Yeah. Just a couple bars.
Yeah.
Maybe Cole Beasley can get a cameo in his next song.
Kem actually sings.
There's a very slight chance that Kemp could be the offspring of one of Sean Kemp's babies.
I think he had 40 kids or something, Sean Kemp.
40?
That was the rumor.
He makes Antonio Cromartie and Phillip Rivers look like punks.
Well, Phillip Rivers is different because he's married to one woman. This is getting close. Do we have to spend 20 minutes doing this? Kansas City, figure it out.
Oh my goodness. Even after Mahomes tells him to stop, Ryder's still waving goodbye. At Pinnacle, Chiefs -3.5 at +103. The OU is set at 57.5. That is, I'm going to go out on the limb and just say that OU is way too high at first glance.
Yeah, it's the strongest lines of the year though are Super Bowl odds. You know that, so it's weird, right? Like,
well, the Super Bowl is also going to get a lot more.
Yeah, there
Public.
might be so much square value on the or square money on the over, giving the undervalue. That's a possibility. It's just weird though, because usually it's very efficient, balanced market, and you are right. At a glance, it is a high number.
I can't, off the top of my head, I can't even remember an OU being that high.
Oh, they had OUs higher than that this year.
I'm really interested next year to see how Josh Allen performs, because he really did play above and beyond what people expected from him this year. And I'm really interested to see if he can continue that strong play and really become like this all perennial type of player, or if he's going to have more of like the Carson Wentz like career trajectory of he just played really good for one season and comes back to life. But Josh Allen hasn't gone through any big injuries like Wentz did, so it might be a little bit different for Josh Allen.
He seems stronger headed in my opinion. I don't know either man, so I can't make a full judgment just at a glance, for me at least.
Man, every Bills defender wanted in on that tackle.
Yeah, they're going out ugly. Mahomes has such an bizarre gait, how he walks.
Yeah, I think partly it looks even funnier right now because he's got the turf toe. I'm sure that that shot's probably starting to wear off now too.
Guess they are Bills Mafia. I like that comment.
That's funny, Mickey.
What a run from Darrell Williams.
And that is almost game. Did my eyes just deceive me that I feel like they changed the play clock or when they reset it? It's almost in the interest for the NFL right now just to get this game done, because this stuff doesn't exactly help.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely I'm going to go out on the line and say there was some funny business there with the clock operator, because there was like 2:44 left on the clock when he got tackled, but then somehow the play clock didn't start for another 5 seconds after that. But I will say this, it is the right thing for them to do. This game just needs to be over with. But yeah, with that first down, the Bills can't stop the clock. This game is officially done, barring a bad snap. Well, Gay for Fat Guy and Intergalactic Planet Terry are both 9-3.
That's fantastic.
So it is official. Well, it's not official because they could both select the same side, and 888 or AKA Jive Turkey could be on the opposite side of them. So it is a four-way. It's a four-way competition for who is going to win the playoff against the spread leaderboard.
What did John Brown get? 2.4. Buffalo. -1. And the kicker. I'm just updating fantasy for everybody. I'll be posting in the Discord. 16 points for Tyler Bass.
Yeah. Four ways are one of my favorite ways, Mickey. As far as I'm aware, they don't really do a lot of bonus stuff at Perva. The bonus for them is that they just give you the best odds.
Two for Big Rye left.
Yeah, keep searching around. I'm sure you're going to be able to find some. There's some really interesting things that we've heard about different books. So just search them all and do your research. See what you can sign up for and what kind of deals you can get.
Sammy Watkins got 0. $17.2. Daryl Williams, 12.1. Wow. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
And that is the final kneel down.
Show me your TDs. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we talked about it before the start of this game, Aperva, that Tampa Bay getting to play a Super Bowl at home is nice, but like, what is that home field advantage? Does it even count? I know some people were saying they'd give them half a point, but it's kind of uncharted territories as far as the value of home field advantage so far. You know, out of the fans that are going, how many are going to be Tampa Bay fans? Like, is it all local people, all local healthcare workers? Like, I'm not sure how it works for Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the split would be anyways.
Because usually the Super Bowl is like a premier ticket where people are paying big bucks. So I'm curious how that's going to work. Mickey said there's no value. Untouchable says no travel.
Oh, we got a 3-way race for fantasy. Aperva is in first place with 196.98 and 3 players active in Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin, and Harrison Butker. The only other people that can really catch him are myself at 157.1. I have 6 players active for the Super Bowl. And Show Me Your TDs, Jamie has 155.5, and he has Patrick Mahomes and 3 others.
So it seems like Apurva has a pretty healthy lead for fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure what the line would be. I think he's a favorite. So
We have
quarterbacks.
What are the 3 players he has left?
Hill, Godwin, and Butker.
And who do you have left, fat guy?
Brady, Antonio Brown, Sammy Watkins, Robert Gronkowski, Le'Veon Bell, and Tampa Bay defense.
And who does Jamie still have left?
Patrick Mahomes, Ronald Jones, Kansas City defense, and Ryan Suckup.
So Apurva, it's definitely nice that you've got that lead, but it is tough because fat guy's got a quarterback plus
5 players, so it'll be closer. It'll be close because the quarterback's only going to make up about 25 points roughly, in theory. So it'll be Hill, Godwin, and Butker plus roughly 25 points versus Antonio Brown, Sammy Watkins, Robert Gronkowski, Le'Veon Bell, and Tampa Bay. All right, Big Ride. Do you want to do an opening line video or?
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to flip over. We're going to just end this stream now. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Any of the members, you guys are welcome to rejoin up. We're going to just create a members-only live video to talk about the opening lines, the opening line and the opening markets for the Super Bowl. So we will catch you guys there. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Congratulations to anybody who was on Kansas City and the over. And we will catch you guys soon. We'll be on in a few minutes for all the members, and then everybody else will have the pick video out. We'll probably end up filming that tomorrow and then have it out on Tuesday morning. All right, we will catch you guys in a few minutes.